Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name's Bernie Flynn, CEO of Mercer Street Friends. Just over a year ago, I joined the Mercer Street Friends family after some time as a volunteer. I have come to know the spirit of this organization, its incredible staff and volunteers, and its extraordinary supporters. Tonight's event will share two audiences, those of you watching on the screen and all who are in person at our food bank. We are pleased to be able to offer this celebration in a hybrid environment, enabling more of you to participate, allowing us to thank all of you for what has been accomplished, and looking forward to continuing our service in the community with great hope and promise. For all of you watching the live stream, we thank you for joining us. We would not be here tonight without all of you, both live stream and in person, and we are so grateful. At this time, I would like to recognize in particular our two grand sponsors, NJM Insurance Group and John and Cookie Spears. Let's give them a round of applause. Fortunately for us, the rest of our sponsors are too numerous to mention, but we have been scrolling their names online, and they will be identified on our website and on the monitors here at the food bank. Also, I want to recognize our team here tonight. Mercer Street Friends staff and board members. They are the people behind our programs in service to our community. So would staff and board members please raise your hands? Let's give them a round of applause. And now, for everyone here and at home, you will see some of them in this opening video.
Mercer Street Food Bank leads the community response to hunger in Mercer County. Since April of 2020, we have serviced over 800,000 meals, which equates to approximately 60,000 plus bags of shelf-stable food to the families within the county. We've had over 300 volunteers. These volunteers come in tirelessly. I call them the Beastmasters. They make it happen. They make it dance. We are a team. We work together with our 100 partner agencies within the city of Trenton and the greater Mercer County area. They consist of pantries, soup kitchens, senior citizens, churches, and synagogues. We have an obligation to make certain we meet the needs of the entire county. We have to be flexible because we can't tell where the need's going to grow at. We have to be ready to meet that need because, again, food insecurity is the foundation of anything else. If you're not having a stable meal, then nothing else goes well after that.
The Parent and Family Engagement Program is a program designed to work with parents, families, and individuals who are at risk of disparity in their health outcomes, in their wellness, in their parenting. The COVID-19 public health crisis has had a tremendous effect on all of our parents as well as on our staff. People have had loss of jobs that they can't get to, jobs that are no longer existing. They have had the tremendous stress of having children at home. We help families in our partnerships to identify and overcome barriers so that they have solutions to those barriers that they've been able to implement in their day-to-day life to make it much more successful for them and enjoyable. Many of our parents don't have a lot of joy when we meet them, and our hope is that as a result of our partnership that they feel joy.
Our children bring me joy, and joy is something that it's within. And since 1995, we have witnessed the power of early childhood education, helping our children in Trenton cognitively grow and develop skills such as academic and social, curiosity, persistence, and resilience, and so much more. What does a child learn beyond the ABCs? Well, when they smile, we see that they're happy, we see love, we see that they're confident, and they're ready to learn. I think my staff is awesome. It's beyond the classroom, whatever our parents need, the teachers are there. Sometimes parents just need a hug too. And we have to make them feel comfortable and know that their most precious beings are being left with us, and that's what my staff does.
The Trenton Community Schools Initiative is a partnership between Mercer Street Friends and the Trenton Public Schools District. Our students are facing so many challenges, as well as their parents, and we know that if kids are struggling in other aspects of their lives, obviously it's going to impact their ability to learn and their ability to be present with the learning process. All Kids Thrive is funded by the Princeton Area Community Foundation, and it helps us to meet the needs of kids who are chronically absent. As you know, kids who are not in school are not learning. And so whatever those gaps may be, we are there to meet those needs and provide resources so that kids are re-engaged into the learning process. Statistics show that kids who are not attending school are far more likely to face early dropout. And so in order to create a buffer, we are giving them programs such as mentoring, where children are paired with a caring, consistent adult in their lives, which is proven to re-engage them in the learning process.
So now we are thrilled to present tonight's Leadership Awards. Our honorees are wonderful examples of humanity, service, and leadership. Mitch Livingston, CEO of NJM Insurance Group, will receive the Corporate Leadership and Public Service Award. Bernadette Trapp, principal of Luis Munoz Rivera Community Middle School, and Jeanette Harris, principal of Benjamin C. Gregory Elementary School, will be honored tonight with the Educational Leadership Award. Kylan Tatum, an enterprising young man with a passion for service, will receive the Generational Impact Award. And the Princeton Area Community Foundation, a philanthropic leader in the state and longtime partner of Mercer Street Friends, will receive the Philanthropic Leadership Award. So we're going to try this again. May I direct your attention to the video for a description of these 5 outstanding honorees. When the pandemic hit and the demand for food spiked, we knew we were going to need more storage space in our food bank warehouse. As it turned out, NJM was renting the warehouse right next door. So our first option was to see if NJM would consider lending us some space. I called Mitch Livingston and told him of our predicament. Mind you, Mitch had already approved a substantial sustainability grant to help Mercer Street reestablish our operating reserve and help fund our summer programming. NJM had done more than enough for us, but Mitch got his team right on it, with Tracy McManaman taking the lead, and we promptly had the extra space we needed to help feed Mercer County during crisis conditions. We deeply appreciate NJM's partnership in serving the Mercer County community, and there isn't anyone more deserving of the Corporate Leadership and Public Service Award than NJM President and CEO Mitch Livingston. Bernadette Trapp, principal of Luis Munoz Rivera Community Middle School, is a veteran educator in the city of Trenton. Having spent nearly 40 years in the school district, Principal Trapp has continued to shine a light on the power of education, consistently committing herself to her students, their families, and the faculty. Since 2014, Principal Trapp has partnered with Mercer Street Friends in planning and instituting the Trenton Community Schools Initiative, ensuring that students receive comprehensive academic and mental health support to guide them towards future success. She has enthusiastically supported the community school effort, and her testament to that was her push to include the word community in the name of Rivera Middle School. Bernadette Trapp is Trenton's founding community school principal, and we thank her for her leadership and dedication. Bernadette's colleague in the Trenton School District is Principal Jeanette Harris, who leads the Benjamin C. Gregory Elementary School. She is a bold and innovative leader, supporting students and families in accessing social, emotional, and educational opportunities for her students. She works hand in hand with Mercer Street Friends in implementing programs through the Trenton Community Schools Initiative, specifically developing the Reading Intervention Program designed to bring students up to grade level proficiency through immersive tutoring sessions. This year, Principal Harris has been instrumental in developing the first elementary school summer academic and enrichment program run by Mercer Street Friends in collaboration with Gregory School educators. Bernadette Trapp and Jeanette Harris are two outstanding educators, and we are thrilled tonight to be honoring them with the Educational Leadership Award.
The Princeton Area Community Foundation shows the power of philanthropy when the focus is on creating lasting impact on the recipients of that generosity. Founded 30 years ago, PACF has dedicated itself to promoting philanthropy and to decision-making that is informed by truly listening to the communities they serve. The Foundation's leadership and staff understand that funding choices must be made in line with the needs of those communities. It was the recognition of that need that led them to create New Jersey's first pandemic relief fund. PACF does not shy away from the hard choices. Food insecurity, youth support, child care, housing and rental assistance, physical and mental health support, all of these are part of the Foundation's core. Mercer Street Friends is the beneficiary of PACF's All Kids Thrive and Community Impact Grants, and they are crucial in helping us do our work. When we asked PACF's CEO, Jeff Vega, if there was anything that Mercer Street Friends could do to assist the Foundation in its work, Jeff simply said, keep doing what you're doing. So to Jeff, PACF's board, its staff, all of its donors, Mercer Street Friends would like to say, please keep doing what you're doing. And most importantly, thank you.
Good afternoon. It is my honor and pleasure at this time to present to you Colin Tayton, a senior at Lawrenceville School, who will receive the 2021 Generational Leadership Award. Throughout this past year, Colin donated 4,000 masks. He's an athlete. He is a student leader. He is all those things that we talk about. But to me, what's most important is I learned Colin's passion. If you would go back in time, there was a movie called The Autobiography of Jane Pittman. And they would look into the eyes of a newborn baby and say, is he the one? I think Colin is going to be the one. So it's very appropriate that he gets the Generational Award, but not just the Generational Award, it's the Generational Leadership Award. He would take that award to Harvard and beyond. And on behalf of Mercer Street Friends Food Bank, we thank you for all that you have done. And please, sir, continue to do it.
So I am going to briefly introduce our honorees, and we will hear more about our honorees, as we proceed through the evening. But I'm going to ask our honorees to come up and say a few words while we have all of you, captive. We have four terrific individuals and one outstanding organization that exemplify, what it takes to be a leader in the community when your community needs you the most. And up first is our corporate leadership and public service honoree who dedicated himself to helping our community at the same time that he was managing the virtual transformation of his company. And oh, by the way, and I know a little bit about this, NJM battles USAA for the top insurance company ranking in the Consumer Reports magazine survey, and NJM is ranked number one in the nation by J.D. Power for auto insurance claim satisfaction. Also, NJM is recognized year after year in an unbroken record that probably spans 20 years as number one in New Jersey for the fewest number of valid customer complaints by our state insurance department. Plus, Mitch Livingston and the rest of his team recently launched what my wife and I consider to be a brilliant marketing campaign. Quote, "No jingles or mascots, just great insurance." Yes, that deserves a round of applause. Mitch has been busy, and we all appreciate the time he devotes to our community. Ladies and gentlemen, our corporate leadership and public service honoree, Mitch Livingston. Thank you.
Thank you, Bernie.
Oh, well, let's take a picture first.
Take a picture first.
You gotta stand right here. You stand right there.
I could say thank you, boss, but I'll say thank you, Bernie, instead. It's an old habit and one that doesn't die easily. But thank you, Bernie, and congratulations on the terrific job you and your team are doing in meeting the critical needs of our community. And in recognition of my older age, I'll put these on. I would also like to take this opportunity to congratulate tonight's other honorees, Bernadette Trapp, Jeanette Harris, Kylan Tatum, John Spears, and Jack Espenshade. NJM's relationship with Mercer Street Friends is now in its 21st year, and it serves as a great example of NJM's commitment to support the communities we are privileged to serve, both directly and through partnerships with organizations doing outstanding work in the community. Mercer Street Friends' stated mission is to nourish minds and bodies and empower families and communities. For more than 6 decades, it has delivered upon this commitment through nutrition, education, and family and career services. This past year, when COVID-19 created unprecedented hardship for so many, Mercer Street's efforts were nothing short of extraordinary. Thinking back, people were losing their jobs, many were at risk of losing their homes, and food banks were faced with a seemingly endless demand for their services. The long lines of cars with men and women waiting hours to receive food for their families were a familiar sight on TV news, both locally and nationally. Mercer Street Friends responded, providing 60,000 bags of food at neighborhood sites, and I understand over 1 million meals at neighborhood sites in Trenton and to its network of nonprofit food pantries throughout Mercer County. NJM was proud to help in this effort directly by making warehouse space available for food storage and by matching our employees' donations to Mercer Street Friends' efforts. In addition, and as Bernie mentioned in the video, which we will see at some point tonight, I'm hoping, in 2020, NJM made the decision to support Mercer Street Friends more broadly with a $250,000 sustainability grant. The grant will support, thank you. Importantly, the grant will support the food relief program, but will also provide a financial foundation for Mercer Street's broader efforts relating to community school programs, workforce training, and job development initiatives. Important programs that I know my former boss are near and dear to his heart. Dr. Martin Luther King once said he had the audacity to believe that people everywhere can have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, and dignity, equality, and freedom for their spirits. I think Dr. King would find affirmation of this belief through the work being done every day by Mercer Street Friends. NJM is grateful for our partnership, and I am deeply honored to receive this Corporate Leadership and Public Service Award. Thank you.
Wow, we really have some deserving honorees, and now we're going to hear more from those honorees. Tonight's first Educational Leadership Award is presented to Bernadette Trapp. As you heard, the Community School Initiative in Trenton, led by Mercer Street Friends, simply would not have been possible without Bernadette Trapp. She's retiring after an outstanding career in the Trenton School District on June 30th, and I don't think we've heard the last of her. So please join me in congratulating Bernadette Trapp.
Hello. Everybody hear me? I can talk. I don't need this. I work in a school. First, I'd like to begin by congratulating my fellow honorees, specifically my colleague and friend, Jeanette Harris, principal of Gregory Elementary School. I am honored to be recognized by Mercer Street Friends, an organization that always addresses the needs of the Trenton community, very specifically during this pandemic. 7 years ago, can't hear me? Okay. Better? 7 years ago, I was approached by Mercer Street Friends to become a partner in the Community School Initiative. This opportunity was just what was needed at that time to fill a gap at the newly reopened Rivera Middle School. The Mercer Street Friends staff, specifically Anisha Walker and Dr. Shannon, were instrumental in helping us forge a wonderful partnership. Weekend food bags, tutoring, parent workshops, after-school programs, and our ever-evolving Summer Bridge program are just a few initiatives we have implemented. However, I cannot accept this honor alone. Oh, I just lost my thing. Benjamin Ons, please stand. Ben was my VP in the early days. He worked tirelessly with me through the Community School Initiative. We spent many a night till 9 or 10 o'clock sitting at work doing the schoolwork on top of what needed to be done to make sure that we were the best partner Mercer Street could have. And more recently, Victor Farnath, my newer VP, has taken up the mantle, and he continues to support Mercer Street Friends and our partnership with Mercer Street and the community school. In closing, I am honored, thank you, to receive this recognition, and I look forward to watching these partnerships grow throughout Trenton. Thank you.
Okay. Tonight's second Educational Leadership Award is presented to Jeanette Harris, principal of Benjamin C. Gregory Elementary School. Jeanette is a passionate innovator, always looking for ways for her children to succeed. She has a tireless work ethic, and we look forward to continuing our work together on the reading intervention program she developed and on our summer program. She is well deserving of this recognition. Please join me in congratulating Principal Jeanette Harris.
Good evening, everyone. I am very appreciative. I'm humbled by this honor. I would be remiss if I did not recognize my team. Please stand. This is not just my honor, but the team's honor, the tireless hours and work to help make Gregory a very special place. I am most appreciative of the partnership that we have with Mercer Street Friends. They have answered the call of the community. The social and emotional needs, they have helped us to meet those. The mental health needs of our community. During this pandemic, they stood up and provided food for families that were in need. I am so grateful to the partnership. And most recently, as Bernie mentioned, during this pandemic, we were able to provide reading intervention programs and supports to our students. We were able to provide mental health. We all suffered some type of mental health during this pandemic. We were able to provide that, and I am truly grateful. You all should be up here getting an award from the community of Trenton, because you definitely are answering the call of the people in this community, and I am grateful. Thank you. I look forward to, as Bernadette said, to more schools in Trenton becoming part of the community school movement. It is needed. It is necessary. To the donors that support this initiative, thank you. And I look forward to a long-lasting partnership with Mercer Street Friends.
Tonight's Philanthropic Leadership Award is presented to the Princeton Area Community Foundation. Here to accept it is their CEO, Jeff Vega. Jeff and his team, let's give them a round of applause. Jeff and his team immediately responded to the pandemic by establishing a COVID relief fund that gave the nonprofit community confidence that it would be supported as we sought to address the needs of the community. PACF led the way not just in our region, but across the state, with First Lady Tammy Murphy following in PACF's footsteps in establishing the New Jersey Pandemic Relief Fund. The Princeton Area Community Foundation is a tremendous leader and partner in our county. Jeff, thank you for all that you and your team do, and congratulations.
I still have a little one that I'm going to get vaccinated, so I'm being extra careful. When Bernie reached out to me to say that he wanted to honor us with the Philanthropic Award, I said we should be honoring Mercer Street Friends for their life-saving work. We were honored. We have the privilege of being in the center of philanthropy in this region, between generous donors who care about this community and between wonderful nonprofits that do impactful work here. Before the pandemic hit, we had our strategic initiatives all lined up in January. By March 16th, we were all sheltering in place. That same day, our Board of Trustees convened over the phone, and I said, all of my dollars are committed, but I need dollars to act. And immediately the board empowered me with about $250,000 and said, Jeffrey, go leverage the rest. We reached out to our foundation friends, private donors, family foundations, corporations like NJM, who responded to our call immediately. And in 3 days, we had $1 million. And in 2 weeks, we had $2.5 million. At the same time, we assembled a team. Anybody who's received a grant from us knows that we are very careful. We do our due diligence. It takes us about maybe 6 months from application to site visits, to reading the applications, to making the awards, about 6 months. We reinvented our processes to make it a week. We had a team meeting over the phone and then by Zoom at 7 o'clock in the morning, almost every day, reading proposals, making decisions, and then reinventing our processes through ACH to wire the money out. It was a time that we will never forget that has reinvented us as a community foundation. I just want to thank all of our team that worked very hard, our Board of Trustees, the women and men who sit on that board, the women and men who work at the Community Foundation, and the 400 fund holders at the Community Foundation who responded to our call for help. I want to thank Mercer Street Friends for the life-saving work that you do and for your partnership. I know our work is not done. This is a moment in time that we're taking to celebrate and come together. And these technical difficulties make me laugh. The traffic I sat in on Route 29 to get here made me laugh, and I was happy to do that. This is my first event that I'm coming to in 15 months, so I'm happy to do that. So, and happy. And I'm very present to the joy of seeing all of you here. So I'm grateful that we're celebrating community. Mercer Street Friends, the job's not over. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Tonight's generational leadership honoree award is presented to Kylan Tatum, a graduate of the Lawrenceville School who is on his way to Harvard University this fall, and let me tell you, he is just getting started. The Princeton Area Community Foundation, as is typical, helped put us together with Kylan and his classmates who provided PPE to the community. He was involved throughout, including being part of the distribution at Washington Elementary School in Trenton. We thank him for his initiative, compassion, and dedication to our community. Congratulations, Kylan, on the Generational Leadership Award.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here today, and a huge congratulations to all the other honorees. I'm a recent graduate of the Lawrenceville School, and I'm incredibly honored to receive this award, especially considering how many members of our community have given their time, their resources, and themselves to bettering our communities and individuals around them over the last year. Pantech was originally started with two primary missions in mind. First, on a more physical level, to donate as many masks as possible to the communities with the least amount of access. And second, on a broader scale, to lessen the healthcare disparities that have become all too present over the last year. So that duality of purpose is necessary for any type of service, and especially at an awards ceremony like this. We must not only continue to honor those community contributors who have managed to better the communities and individuals around them, but we must also continue to question those systemic factors which have made our service necessary in the first place. In creating our campaign, we not only had to deal with the physical tasks of acquiring masks and distributing them, but also had to educate ourselves on the social factors that intersect with our own service, such as 20th century redlining policies and the resulting de facto segregation along lines of race and class that have contributed to inequitable access to healthcare even today. And so our education does not stop here. Service, too, does not begin or start at the physical act, but rather starts much before in one's learning about and investment in a community, and contributes further on through one's continued involvement in that community. So I'm here to tell you today that while I'm so grateful and proud of the work that we have already accomplished, that this is only the first step. And I, along with many others, will continue to commit to bettering the communities and individuals around us. Once again, thank you all for having me here today, and congratulations to all the other honorees.
I think the kid has a future. Let's give another round of applause to our 5 leadership honorees. When we were founded in 1958 by Trenton Quakers, they envisioned a place where the community could gather and know that they were surrounded by support. A place where the Quaker values of simplicity, peace, integrity, community, equality, and stewardship permeate all aspects of the work. Today, that vision continues to ring true as we present the Robert M. Applebaum Service Award to John Spears, who is a former leader on our Board of Trustees, and to the late Jack Espenshade for his steadfast service to our food bank. So we're going to try it one more time. I will direct your attention to the video, and we'll see if the third time is a charm.
John Spears is receiving the Robert Applebaum Service Award, named after our founder. John certainly has stellar credentials: 18 years of dedicated board service, decades of generous support. In hard times, John helped MSF to avoid bankruptcy and become the financially vigorous agency it is today. Imagine what would have happened this crazy COVID year if our doors had been closed. Perish the thought. Like Bob was, John is a modest Quaker capitalist who daily practices his belief that every person is a beloved child of God, all welcome under one big tent. John demands equal opportunity and an excellent education for every child, no excuses. 3 decades ago, John was spiritually nudged to make a $5,000 donation, his largest ever at the time. In John's words, that donation greased the skids of Cheapskate Spears for openness towards more giving, and opened my eyes to the problems, challenges that poor people, especially poor people of color, face in life. John keeps growing in learning and generosity. It will surely please John if I praise the late Kirk Norris in the same breath I praise John. Kirk and John served side by side for decades as MSF trustees and champions. Kirk's motto sums up John's service and his: Excelsior.
My father was a wonderful man. He was creative, he was a hard worker, he was kind, he really was a doer. He wanted to always be doing something to help other people. No job was too small. He just liked to get his hands working to help other people. He would change light bulbs at the church. He was up on the roof of Habitat houses. He built benches for the organic farm. He pushed pallets here at the food bank. It was just such an integral part of who he was. He just wanted to make the world a better place, one little piece at a time. The times that my father and I worked together at the food bank were very, very special to me, and I think to him. We would travel in together, and then we'd do our work together. And I was always Jack's daughter while I was here. People, I think, knew my name, but the important part of them knowing me was being Jack's daughter. So that was important to me too. And then we'd work, and we'd go out to lunch together afterwards. It was really a wonderful time for us to be together.
John Spears is always searching for solutions. He wants to support programs, initiatives, and organizations that work. And he is always challenging us to ensure that our programs have real, demonstrable impact. We thank him for his support and his service. I am very proud to present tonight's first Robert M. Applebaum Service Award to our good friend, John Spears. Come on up, John. I love your tie. Here you go. Oh, hold on. Let's take a picture. Oh, okay. Let's take a picture. All right. Bobby Anderson, you are too kind. It's all yours.
Well, Vicki was very kind to tell me that I only had 3 minutes, so I thought that the first thing I would do is set my Casio alarm watch and let it beep, or maybe we could allow 1.5 minutes for me to talk and then 1.5 minutes for questions. It might work. I really have never been awarded anything like this. It is a total surprise. And I'm so touched by anyway. I Googled what to do when you have to make remarks for awards. And because I'm not a great public speaker. I like dialogue, but not monologues. And they referred to Sandra Bullock at the Academy Awards. She said, "I really don't think I earned this." And that's how I felt. I felt that the person who should be up here was the person that Bob Anderson spoke about, Kirk Norris, who was such a dedicated volunteer. He dedicated the last few years of his life to improving the educational outcomes of students in Trenton, giving them a helping hand toward social mobility and a good shot at life. And anyway, I want to reflect the kindness that's been shown to me by just thanking Mercer Street for all that it does, the staff, the volunteer board members who, pro bono, if they're lawyers, it's, millions of dollars of free work. and just so kind, giving a helping hand, lift up to people in Trenton, the food bank. I think the reading initiative sounds terrific. I hope that Mercer Street does more educational improvement things. Bernie and I have talked about that. The after-school programs just goes on and on and on. And I've had the good fortune to educate. I mean, intellectually, it's been interesting to me as a Republican cheapskate businessman to see how the tax dollars have been used by Mercer Street. And anyway, I first got involved, as Bob said, by getting a nudge in my religious way, which is Quakerism. We sit in a room and 800 number, pray directly to God, and sometimes things happen as a result of that. Right here, I got a nudge. I lent $200,000 decades ago, interest-free, to Mercer Street to help with the initial building of a building for Village Charter School. And Kirk Norris was very involved with that also, and the Murphy family. And as Bob mentioned, Mercer Street has not had the easiest time financially. And with the great leadership of Bernie and maybe some good fortune and the board and everything, things have really, there's a new energy. And I learned today that Bernie's a $1 a year man, maybe a 50 cent a year man. I don't. Yeah, thank you, Bernie, for your energy and leadership. But I got a nudge today, right here. I want to give back that $200,000. I feel so blessed, and I want to thank my Quaker friends and the people I've met through Mercer Street. I want to thank my business. I want to thank the clients and the employees and the partners of my business, Tweety Brown. It has been, for me, a rocket ship of good fortune. I enjoy being wealthy. It has made me pretty wealthy. And it gives me a lot of options. I can spend money. I can give some of it away. And I I thank God for that. I thank for good fortune. I hope I have more of it. So, anyway, I still wonder about Sandra Bullock's question, but I'll leave it with this. Warren Buffett, who's a person I greatly admire. He's sort of a teacher. I'm told that in the entrance to his office, he has a framed picture with this quotation: "A fool and his money are invited everywhere." I'm that fool. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. That is something. Thank you, John Spears. Thank you, John Spears. My Lord. And our second Robert M. Applebaum Service Award honoree is Jack Espenshade. He was a fixture here at our food bank, as you heard from his daughter Linda. And he helped create a lifelong Espenshade and Heinemann family commitment of service to Mercer Street Friends and the children and families that we support. In fact, Linda and her husband Bill Heinemann, have both received the Applebaum Service Award in the past. So now it is my distinct pleasure to ask Jack's wife Sue and Linda to accept this award in Jack's memory.
Okay, John, that was a hard act to follow. Do we have our checkbook bill? My father would have loved to see the expanded food bank warehouse, and he would be pleased to know about all of the amazing work that Mercer Street Friends has done this past year. My father was a helper, and he was a doer. He would see something that needed to be fixed or improved, and would then quietly figure out a way to address it. He believed in hands-on service. He wasn't so interested in being on a board of directors or on a committee. He was much more comfortable with a hammer in his hand, up on a ladder, raking or digging or pushing pallets of food. My father was very proud to be associated with Mercer Street Friends. He believed in what you do and was happy to play a part. He loved his volunteer work in the food bank. And as you saw in the video, I was really fortunate to be able to work beside him. His specific job was moving those very large and very heavy pallets of food. But I know that he enjoyed most the personal connections that he made with the staff, with the other volunteers, and with the people from the agencies served. So this honor in this place is absolutely perfect. And I'm very pleased to be here with my mother to accept on his behalf. It is a lovely, lovely tribute to a man of service. Thank you.
Okay, one final time for all of our honorees. Thank you. Thank you. As we conclude tonight's program, I want to thank all of our sponsors, benefactors, and patrons for making tonight's celebration possible. In particular, our Leadership Event Committee, Vicki Bixel, Nancy Faraday, Pat Hartpence, Bob Holt, Ann Irwin, and Stacy Mongold. Let's give them a round of applause. I also want to thank Butter Allen and Chad Johnson and the rest of the food bank team who got us ready for tonight. Riverview Associates and Jim Parker and his team. I want next year's event to be just like this year's event. I don't care. Doesn't matter whether the videos are on time or not. The people make the event. Marcilio's and Alan Meinster for the food and drink. My wife Ann, I don't know where the heck she is. She's here somewhere, for supporting me and Mercer Street Friends during the craziness and intensity of this pandemic. I want to thank all of the staff and the trustees at Mercer Street Friends. And finally, to our incredible leaders we were honored to honor this evening. Mitch Livingston and his team at NJM, Principal Bernadette Trapp and Principal Jeanette Harris, Kylan Tatum, the Princeton Area Community Foundation, and Jeff Vega and his team, the incomparable John Spears, and our dear friend Jack Espenshade. You inspire us all. Thank you for your service and leadership. Before I say goodnight, please, all the honorees come up for one big picture with everybody. Have a great evening. Thank you all, and good night.